Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
A gray, damp start to the week. Clouds hanging around most of the day with just enough rain to need those windshield wipers. How's the rest of the week shaping up? Adam Caskey has your work week forecast, including our best chance for some real rain coming up in just a few minutes.
And new at 6, the end of a wild day on Wall Street. Much to the relief of investors, the stock market actually closed up 99 points after a 1,000-point free fall earlier today.
A wild day indeed. To find out what happened here, Jesse Degollado spoke to the CEO of one of the state's oldest independent stock brokerage firms.
Despite the stock market falling to a low point today after a 3-week downward trend,
the phone has not been ringing off the hook with worried investors today.
CEO Christopher Allison says he believes the dramatic drop was fueled by newcomers to the market.
Just started investing in the pandemic, and this is really their first big sell-off.
But why now? He says the standoff between Russia and Ukraine and possible U.S. involvement is not a financial market story. Instead, Allison says investors are focused on what the Federal Reserve is expected to signal on Wednesday ahead of its next meeting in March.
The first Fed rate increase since 2019.
Allison says the rate has hovered near zero since 2020. He says the Fed is well aware how frustrated consumers are by inflation's impact on the prices they're having to pay on almost everything.
That's one of the designs for increasing rates is to slow down inflation long term.
Allison says contrary to what the public may think.
Is our economy in trouble because what's happened in the stock market today?
We have a strong economy. I think the market is a separate reaction.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
New COVID-19 cases in Bexar County topping 7,000 to begin this week. 3 new deaths being reported today, and our 7-day average is now 5,500 cases. 1,257 COVID patients in Bexar County hospitals, 266 people in intensive care, and 123 people are on ventilators. And turning now to Comal County. Today, county health officials reporting over 400 new cases. That's another record for the highest daily cases there. This is also the first time that total has been topping 400, that is. There have now been more than 25,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Comal County to date. The county also reporting 1 new death this evening. That puts the death toll just below 500 people.
And so if you're thinking it's just better to get exposed to COVID now to build your immunity, Metro health officials say that is not the answer. It also poses a risk to your health. As we mentioned, hospitalizations up more than 1,200, according to Metro Health Medical Director Dr. Jinda Wu. Resources are limited. If you're exposed, you take the risk of needing a hospital, which is already stressed.
But the better way to get immunity without additional risks is by being vaccinated. We've seen people get Delta and then get Omicron. So the immunity is still up in the air.
Dr. Wu also spoke about knowing when to isolate and when to quarantine. If you get a positive COVID test or have COVID-like symptoms, it's best to isolate for 5 days unless the symptoms remain. If you're exposed, have symptoms without taking a test or waiting for results, then you quarantine. And after 5 days of no symptoms, you're encouraged to wear a mask while out in public for 5 more days. And new at 6, patients and researchers calling it the first step towards a true cure for type 1 diabetes in 100 years. A recent clinical trial using stem cells allowed patients to survive without insulin injections. Courtney Friedman spoke to a leader from the organization funding this study who also lives with type 1 diabetes.
Alan Lowry was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 6, a year after his twin brother.
It's an autoimmune disease where my immune system thinks that my pancreas is something bad, so it attacks it, and now it doesn't produce insulin anymore.
So he has to inject it through syringes or an insulin pump.
I'm like one miscalculation away from a really serious emergency. Cells don't have the energy they need to function, your organs start turning off, your brain, your lungs, your heart.
In 2015, he became a board member at JDRF, a national nonprofit funding research for type 1 diabetes and offering a support system for patients and their families. Recently, JDRF helped fund a clinical study using stem cells that they call the biggest advancement for type 1 diabetes in 100 years, since the very first insulin injection treatment.
It took donated stem cells and it injected them into someone's body. And what that did allowed a type 1 diabetic to live with a 91% insulin-free regimen.
When asked what this means for people like him, visible joy and relief.
Oh gosh, there's so many possibilities. This is the first large step towards an actual practical cure where someone with diabetes could live the same life as someone without diabetes.
The stem cell research is still in its early stages. There's a lot of work to do, more clinical trials, more data to be collected. But there's also more hope than ever. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
The local home selling market is still going strong. Although sales last month tapered off a bit from the year before, they are still beating pre-pandemic sales. And because inventory remains limited, prices keep on climbing. The median price for last month, a home, was $311,000. Realtors tell us that buyers are often offering bids above asking price. They're also seeing more cash offers.
An insane amount of cash buyers. And it's mostly, I think, coming from out-of-state buyers because the cost of living adjustment from a West Coast or East Coast, what you're getting for the price that you're selling over there is amazing, the difference.
Now, that can be frustrating for local buyers. Realtors say you have to be ready to pounce with your mortgage pre-approval. It also helps to be an easy buyer who doesn't ask for a lot of concessions.
I want to take you to a place where traffic has come to a complete stop. This is I-37 at Fair Avenue. Now you can see that crews are on the scene. We're not exactly sure what is happening here, but you can see for all intents and purposes, traffic is basically stopped in both directions. San Antonio police are there. It looks like TxDOT crews are there. We're trying to get an answer on exactly what is happening here, but you can even see traffic on the overpass above completely stopped. Again, this is I-37 at Fair Avenue. It's southeast of downtown. To give you an idea of what we're talking about, of course, we're going to continue to monitor this situation. More than 400 service members died aboard the USS Oklahoma in Pearl Harbor. The remains of many had not been identified until just a few years ago. Today, one Navy war hero laid to rest here in San Antonio, closer to his family. Navy Fireman First Class Frank Nichols received full military honors. Alicia Barrera spoke to the family, who says they are thankful to all those who made this moment possible.
Navy Fireman First Class Frank Nichols was born in Eau Claire, Wisconsin in January of 1917.
He enlisted actually 82 years ago today in the Navy, and he was assigned 2 months later to the USS Oklahoma. His younger brother actually joined at 17, and I guess he probably asked to be assigned to the same ships.
On December 7th, 1941, an attack on the USS Oklahoma in Pearl Harbor left 429 service members dead. While his younger brother survived, Nichols did not. His remains would then be buried as unknown in the Punchbowl National Cemetery in Honolulu, Hawaii.
And it was in 2016 that all the remains of the USS Oklahoma service members were finally identified thanks to the Defense Prisoner of War Missing in Action Accounting Agency. And it was then that the family of Frank Nichols knew that he needed to be closer to them in order to heal and honor the war hero.
His remains finally arrived on Friday to the San Antonio International Airport, thanks in part to the help of Mission Park Funeral and a petition from the family who lives in Austin.
We had long ago given up any thought of that happening.
Christopher was only 5 months old when his cousin died, and today he, along with other family, get a chance to salute Nichols.
I'm very pleased to see it.
Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
A new episode of KSAT Explains is out tomorrow night. And this week we're talking esports, what they are, how students are now getting some big scholarships for it, and what San Antonio is doing to become a major player in this arena. KSAT Explains Esports in San Antonio. That will be available to stream tomorrow night at 7 p.m. right after this newscast. You can watch it live on KSAT.com, the KSAT Facebook page. If you can't catch it live, though, we'll post the full episode on our website right after that live stream.
Very curious about esports.
It's growing.
Scholarships.
I've learned a lot.
All that stuff. All right, live cam outside. You know, the sun is basically set, but it's kind of looked like this all day anyway.
Yeah, we really didn't see the sun around town today. Farther west of San Antonio, we did, especially along the Rio Grande, and our temperature just proves that we didn't see much sun. Right now we're at 53 degrees. We started the day in the upper 40s and we only made it into the low to mid 50s locally. Dew point of 49 right now, so you don't feel any stickiness out there. 61 Divine, 61 Los Maples and Bandera. That's where we've had a little bit of sunshine, but stuck underneath the clouds, lower 50s now. Seguin, Gonzales 51, Stinson 55, and 50 even in Bernie. As we got through the evening, just a gradual drop through the 40s, and I think we'll start the day tomorrow right near 40 degrees. Get ready for some fog and even a few weak cold fronts bringing our next chance of rain. All that coming up.
So here's what we're working on for you tonight on the Nightbeat. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office wants to change some things, especially when it comes to disciplining deputies. The Sheriff's Office also wants a new procedure when it comes to deputies trying to get their jobs back. So tonight you're going to hear what a judge has to say about this proposal. Also, a local taxi cab driver was killed in a parking lot. It's a murder case that investigators worked for 2 years before finally arresting someone. But tonight, there's been a sudden change in the case. Why one suspect may be let go. We'll see you for these stories and a lot more tonight on the Nightbeat.
Thanks, Stephanie. In some parts of the country, average daily COVID-19 cases are trending down, but hospitalizations, those continue to rise. While the current variant appears to be not as deadly as Delta was, especially among those vaccinated and boosted, U.S. health experts are warning don't underestimate Omicron.
Across the U.S., it's spread like wildfire.
The stunning thing about Omicron is how remarkably infectious it is. I've been doing infectious disease control for 30 years, and with the possible exception of measles, it is the most infectious virus I've seen.
In less than 2 months, Omicron has packed a punch to the U.S., setting records after accounting for nearly all new COVID cases, pushing Delta into the background. While cases may fall as quickly as they rose, health experts say don't count this variant out just yet.
The biggest risk is that the fact that we are all so very tired of COVID will lead to us letting down our guard, and if another variant comes, we won't respond effectively.
Former CDC Director Dr. Tom Frieden says for people who are vaccinated and boosted, which is now about a quarter of the U.S. population, COVID-19 caused by Omicron may be similar in severity to the flu in many respects, or they may have no symptoms at all. The concern comes with those who aren't vaccinated.
The virus is adapting. As long as we adapt, we can move forward. If we don't adapt to the virus, it's going to continue to get ahead of us because no one, and I want to emphasize this, no one can predict with accuracy what's coming after Omicron.
Now, Frieden says part of being ready for what's next includes vaccinating as many people as possible, wearing masks, especially in crowded indoor settings, and getting more rapid testing.
All right, it was a gray Monday.
Yes.
Maybe, Mondays and gray, they kind of started the work week.
Yeah, sleepy days.
Yeah.
It was a very sleepy day and kind of frustrating because if it's going to be gray and damp, at least give us something to show for it.
Yes.
Not much to show for it. Let's talk temperatures before we get into our next chance of rain. It's a slight chance and we'll dive into it in a moment. But I do want to point out we have a few weak cold fronts hitting us this work week, Wednesday and then again Thursday night. Notice they're not going to have a huge impact on morning temperatures until we get into Saturday. That's our next chance of getting below freezing. Right now we're thinking lower 40s the next several mornings, even upper 30s by Friday. Then by Saturday morning, back down to about 30 degrees. So no huge temperature drop, and for the most part, it looks like we're going to be above freezing with that one exception. All right, take a look at our data today. 49 this morning, then only 53 this afternoon. That's what the low clouds will do to you in terms of temperatures. And you look across the state and you see the big difference temperature-wise just by looking at the satellite data. Who got the sunshine today? Off to the west and in the Panhandle, Lubbock, 64 the high, Midland 65, Del Rio 69, Junction the high of 67, whereas underneath the low clouds, these are the high temperatures, not currents, but underneath the low clouds, basically east of I-35 and along I-35, we were in the low to mid 50s. That's the best we could do. So, of course, a little bit of sunshine can go a long way this time of year. Currently, still 53 in San Antonio. New Braunfels at 52. 61 Uvalde, still 67 in Del Rio. But you get east of 281, lower 50s along the coastal plain. Here's what we're expecting tomorrow morning. Close to 40 degrees around San Antonio, but some 30s out there. Hondo 37 along with Kerrville, 41 Austin area, 41 Cotulla, 36 Carrizo Springs, but above freezing for most of us until you get higher up north and west of San Antonio Junction area. We could have a brief light freeze. Tomorrow afternoon, along the Rio Grande, we're expecting just as much sunshine as today, in turn warmer, well into the 70s. 75 Carrizo Springs, Del Rio, Laredo, both 77 for highs, but then you see those temperatures drop off a bit as you head eastward in the 60s, because just like today, we're going to clear out at a different pace. But notice our high temperature trend with the average being 64. We're basically below average here for the foreseeable future. 62 tomorrow, then 50s. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be in the mid 50s because of those weak cold fronts. So not a huge temperature drop from those fronts, but cool, and cool for this time of year. By the weekend, we're back in the lower 60s. Okay, let's talk rainfall. I wish we had more colors on this map, but unfortunately, we don't. These are the radar estimates in terms of the colors. So anywhere you see a blue on the screen, that indicates where we've actually had some rain. What you see here in terms of numbers, those are the actual rain gauge measurements. So Luling, 0.16, Hallettsville, 0.15, Smiley, nearly 0.2 of an inch, Kennedy, 0.2 of an inch, but at San Antonio International, 0.02 of an inch. That's the best we could do around here. So we had some radar echoes out there that they just didn't add up to a whole lot. Most of the rain was in parts of East Texas and, of course, moving through Louisiana and off over the Gulf of Mexico. But that's it. Our clearing line is still straddling right over San Antonio area and I-35. And I do expect it to move eastward a bit, but it's just going to be replaced by areas of fog tonight. So this upper disturbance, this dip in the upper level flow, that's moving on. That's why all that precipitation, the good rain, East Texas and Louisiana, that's moving away from us right now. And behind this, we'll have some clearing skies, but we have to get through the fog first tonight and tomorrow morning. As for rain chances, not much. The second of two weak fronts that hits Thursday night. Right now we got a 30% chance, and we're crossing our fingers hoping we see some promising signs that maybe we could raise that a bit, but right now it doesn't look like it's anything to really get excited for, unfortunately. Looking like just a few hit or miss showers, kind of like what we had today, but we'll keep you updated and let you know how things change in the days ahead. Foggy tonight and tomorrow morning. We'll start the day around 42 locally. As I showed you earlier, some 30s out there north and west of town. And then by tomorrow afternoon, some sunshine, 62. Of course, your high temperature is going to be completely dependent on how many hours of sunshine you get. Obviously, the more sun you have, the warmer it's going to be. Northeasterly breeze at 5 to 10. We talked about the 50s Wednesday through Friday and then into the weekend. Good amount of sunshine. We're just going to start off with that brief light freeze on Saturday morning.
Okay, thank you, Adam.
You know, if you would have told me last week that this Monday Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers would be on vacation, I'm not sure I would have believed you.
No, these are two teams I thought for sure would be at the upper echelon here. In fact, Green Bay was a number one seed and got knocked off by San Francisco. When we come back, though, the big question right now is Tom Brady done? Does he have one more year left in him? We'll talk to him about that and that AFC divisional playoff game between Buffalo and Kansas City, an instant classic coming up.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
We are coming off arguably the greatest weekend in NFL playoff history to get us to the Final Four of the postseason that included the dismissal of two #1 seeds. The NFC divisional playoff game between the Los Angeles Rams and Tampa Bay Buccaneers did not disappoint. Rams would get out to as much as a 27-3 lead. Matt Stafford was able to find Cooper Kupp, who completes a 70-yard touchdown to get the Rams out 17-3 lead. And then Stafford would take it in himself in the third quarter to push the Rams out to a 24-point lead until Tom Brady leads the defending Super Bowl champs back. One of the big plays included former Aggie wide receiver Mike Evans, who completes a 55-yard touchdown to get the Bucs within 7. Then Cam Akers with the biggest turnover of the game when he stripped by Ndamukong Suh to get Tampa Bay one more chance. And then on 4th and 1, Leonard Fournette takes it in, and we are tied with 42 seconds left. But it's all the time Stafford would need when he finds Kupp again, who's able to pick up 44 yards and put the Rams in position to win with no time on the clock. That is Matt Gray makes that happen with a 30-yard field goal and the win 30-27.
Really excited to be able to get back to SoFi in front of our fans, host the NFC Championship against what we know is a great opponent in the San Francisco 49ers. Tremendous respect for the Bucs and reigning world champs. They gave us everything and more.
Was this the last game for Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady? After leading the defending Super Bowl champs in the divisional round this year, Brady, who's now 44 years old, has left the gate open about the possibility of finally retiring. This was his response last night when the 7-time Super Bowl champion responded.
I haven't put a lot of thought into it, so we'll just take it day by day and see where we're at.
Did you at least take a moment as you came off the field or at any time today to think about that, to think that this might be the last time I'm out here?
No, I was thinking about winning. That's kind of my mentality always, to go out there and try to win, give my team the best chance to win.
All right, Sean McVay, who's celebrating his birthday today, referred to it earlier that the Rams will be hosting the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game. That's after they were able to upset the #1 seed Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field on Saturday, and Robbie Gould's last-second game-winning 45-yard field goal to win at 13-10 in what could be Aaron Rodgers' final game in Green Bay. So here's the matchup for the NFC Championship game. Be the 49ers against the Rams Sunday at 5:30 in SoFi Stadium. The best game of the weekend in the NFL playoffs is the AFC divisional game between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. The lead would change 3 times in the final 2 minutes of what has turned into an instant classic. It looked as if Buffalo Bills would actually win this game when Josh Allen found Gabriel Davis with under 2 minutes to play. Then again with 13 seconds left for his NFL playoff record 4th touchdown in the game. But Harrison Butker would kick the game-tying field goal to tie it at and send it into overtime at 36-all. The only mistake Allen made was calling tails, and it wound up being heads, giving the Chiefs first possession in the extra period. That's when Patrick Mahomes found Travis Kelce for the game-winning touchdown, 42-36 in overtime.
And the Buffalo Bills are one of the best football teams in the National Football League, and it's just they proved it tonight. And it was, a situation where it's kind of was, whoever had the ball last was going to win that game.
That's exactly what happened. It's the second straight postseason the Bills had to watch the Chiefs celebrate, but they were gracious in defeat.
Hats off to the Chiefs and what they did today. Pat played amazing. Got a lot of respect for him and the Chiefs as a whole. They made one more play than we did.
All right, and the AFC Championship game will be this Sunday at 2 at Arrowhead Stadium. And I got to tell you, I thought Buffalo was going for sure. I really did. I thought they'd play the AFC Championship game and somehow find a way to get back to the Super Bowl.
Well, Pat Mahomes is just like Brady these days, where you're like, you don't want to give him any time
13 seconds. That's crazy.
Wow.
Thanks, Greg. Our KSAT Q&A is up next.
It is that time again. We are talking about tax season, getting your returns ready, getting them into the IRS. And there's a program in town that helps people that are below a certain income threshold. It is called VITA. It's provided through Catholic Charities, and we are very thrilled to be joined by Jessica Enriquez, who is the director of VITA. Jessica, thank you for being with us. Right off the top, what do people need to know about their tax returns this year? What are the big changes?
Right, so there are some changes. Last year, they received the third stimulus and also the child tax credit advancement payment. So they do need to bring those amounts in with them when they get ready to do their tax return. It's going to be super, super important to avoid any delays with their return.
And they should get those in the mail, right?
That is correct. The IRS has already started sending them out. Yes.
And how about jobless benefits? Are those being treated differently this go round?
As of right now, we have no answer on that. So as of right now, it is being treated as the unemployment as all taxable.
All right, you talked about this, the amount of stimulus payments that people got, they need to bring in, and child care credits. But there's also a change to child care credits this year compared to years past, correct?
That is correct. So the child tax credit is fully refundable this year to where it was not last year.
So that should mean people will get bigger returns, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so let's talk about what everyone needs to have in order to access the services that VITA provides. That is the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, if people are wondering what that stands for. So tell us what VITA does and who could take advantage of it.
Right, so VITA prepares for income taxes to anyone here in San Antonio surrounding areas. All you have to do is earn less than $55,000 a year. Just come on by, bring your social security card, your ID, and all of your tax documents, W-2s, 1099s, 1098Ts, 1099Es, interest, dividends from your bank. Go ahead. If you're not sure about what documents to bring, just go ahead and bring them in and we'll help you out.
Is there a website that you guys have that runs down what people need to bring in and where they can go to get help?
Absolutely, yes. It is vitasa.org, vitasa.org.
Great.
A lot of times it's a daunting process, even if you've done it for who knows how many years, making sure that you're following all the rules that apply to this filing season versus last. So what's your best advice to getting this process started?
Correct. So please wait for those letters, especially from the stimulus, the third stimulus, and the child tax credit advancement payment, because that is going to be super important. You do not want to come in and just give us a number that you think might be it. No. In order to avoid delays, please bring everything ready, have those letters ready. That is going to be the most super important 2 letters of this tax season.
Who makes up the VITA organization? Like, who's actually, if you make less than $55,000, who's going to be doing your taxes through VITA?
Oh my goodness. The majority, there's a lot of people here in need and actually do not know about our program. So, it's everywhere all over San Antonio. We don't want anyone to go and pay $500 for a return that we can absolutely do free of charge. So again, go to our website, go look at all the sites that are available. We're here to help you, and we do not want you to pay not one single dollar to have your taxes, prepared.
Yeah, and where do your experts come from that help prepare these taxes?
We have instructors that have been with us for many, many years. Our volunteers are certified through the IRS. So we go through 20 hours of training with all the volunteers.
That's great.
Can you talk about some of the locations? I know you mentioned they're online, but transportation is an issue for some people. So finding a place that's nearest them or in their neighborhood is really important. So where are some of these locations?
We're all over San Antonio. We're on the north side, south side, east side, west side. If they go and they're not really computer savvy or can't access the program, the organization, the website, all you got to do is go call 211 and they can give them their address and they will guide them to the nearest location.
What's your best advice for people that are out there, all taxpayers, when they look at the daunting task of getting all their stuff together and getting their taxes done, whether they do it themselves or they have a professional do it?
Be patient. Look around, gather all your paperwork. Do not come in with, if you know that you work several jobs, please wait for all of your W-2s. I know everybody's anxious about filing their taxes, but please wait for all of your paperwork to get in before coming out to a site.
Jessica, let's talk about the dates, because remember last year we had an extension here in Texas because of the winter storm. Of course, COVID delays also play a part in some things right now. So talk about the filing deadlines that people need to be aware of.
Correct. As of right now, the filing tax deadline is April 18th, 2022. So we have not heard anything else. If we do, we'll let everyone know. But as of right now, it is April 18th.
What about a deadline to file an extension?
That would be October 18th. It's 6 months from April.
Do we need to be patient with the IRS in this whole thing, too? Because I know we've seen a lot of staffing shortages with COVID and some other things going on. You talked about being patient. Do we need to extend that to the IRS?
The IRS is currently, they're working as hard as they can. I understand they're also short-staffed. So, of course, let's all be patient with them. But they are accepting, tax returns at this moment.
Great.
Jessica, anything that we have not given people in terms of advice or those documents? Because it's always frustrating when you get there, you get ready to have this done, and you've forgotten one thing. So is there something that we didn't talk about you want to make sure people know?
Again, like I said, the most important letters that are going to play a big role is the 6475, the stimulus letter, and the 6419, which is the advancement payment for the child tax credit. Those are really two big ones. Just make sure you bring them in, and we're here to help you.
6475 and 6419. Yes.
Correct.
All right, 10-4. Jessica Enriquez is director of VITA. Thank you so much for all that you do and helping these people.
Of course. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
There are a lot of school choice options available for kids in Texas. And during this year's Texas School Choice Week, we are taking a closer look at Pre-K for SA. It's the city's funded public pre-K program. The program opening its pre-kindergarten enrollment for its 2022-2023 school year. Staffers say you want to sign up as soon as possible. Our Tiffany Huertas with more.
Our longitudinal studies have shown that children who attend Pre-K for SA have better reading, better math, and better attendance score in third grade and beyond.
Pre-K for SA launched its first site in 2013, and since then, it's impacted thousands of local children.
We follow the high scope curriculum, which is a play-based curriculum that helps children learn foundational academic skills, critical thinking, problem solving.
Pre-K for SA says average enrollment is about 2,000 students a year, but due to the pandemic, that number dipped to about 1,500 this school year. Sarah Beret, CEO of Pre-K for SA, says they have different safety protocols in place and are getting COVID tested weekly.
We retrofitted all of our buildings to have better air filtration, touchless water fountains and toilets and sinks and all of that. We have daily health screenings for both children and staff.
Pre-kindergarten enrollment starts February 1st. Children must turn 4 years old by September 1st to attend.
If the family qualifies based on one of the TEA indicators, they can attend free. And if they don't, we offer scholarships. We encourage everyone to apply as soon as they can, especially to make sure that they get their choice.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. A gray old day here in San Antonio. Lots of mist and drizzle, but we're waiting on the real rain, Adam.
Yeah, we could use the real rain, and unfortunately, we're not really getting any of it around here. Some locations east of town, including Hallettsville, had over between 1/10 and 2/10 of an inch today, but the rest of us just traced to a few hundredths. Right now we're at 52 degrees and we'll gradually fall through the 40s tonight. By 10 o'clock, about mid-40s, and tomorrow morning, close to 40 degrees to start the day. 2 weak cold fronts to talk about, the second of which could bring a few showers, and I'll even have the drought monitor show you where we need the rain the most in just a bit.
Well, this is not the kind of buzz a company wants when everyone is talking about it. Peloton, the interactive exercise bike company, suffered a bit of a jolt last month when Mr. Big died while using the bike. That was in the premiere of the Sex and the City continuation that's called And Just Like That. Well, now it's happened again. If you haven't seen the premiere of the new season of Billions on Showtime, spoiler alert.
Yeah, one of that show's main characters suffers a heart attack while riding a Peloton. But Mike Wagner did not die. However, it's still a problem for a company also suffering major real-world problems. Peloton stock down 80% from its peak. Investment firm Blackwell's Capital, which owns 5% of the company, put out an open letter today calling for the board of directors to fire Peloton CEO John Foley. The letter lays out 10 points slamming Foley's performance.
Okay. Some sweet sayings coming to a Valentine's Day sweet treat this year. Sweethearts Candies sending out those messages on the Candy Conversation Hearts this year. Well, little words of encouragement will be there, showing up on 16 of those candy hearts.
I like those, by the way.
I do not like those.
Really?
No.
Maybe it's because I need affirmation. Everything from you got this and high five to crush it and you the best. Don't worry, the classic sayings haven't gone anywhere. You can still ask someone to be mine in little sugar form.
They taste like they're real powdery, you know?
Yeah.
I'm here for the chocolate. All right, well, this Monday is the day to spread the word about a popular food all around the world. It is National...
So important. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. It is National Peanut Butter Day. Whether creamy or chunky. You creamy or you chunky, Adam?
Both.
Both. Okay. Well, you got 2 reasons to celebrate. January 24th celebrates peanut butter in all its forms. The earliest record of peanut butter originates from the Aztecs and the Incas around 1000 BC.
It was introduced to audiences in 1904's Universal Exposition in St. Louis. In 1922, an inventor named Joseph Rosefield created the homogenization process that produced Peter Pan. Later, he went into business for himself with a brand called Skippy. He also supplied peanut butter for military rations during World War II. The good thing about National Peanut Butter Day is if you're hungry for a sandwich, you can make it in a jiff.
Hey, it's a 2 for everybody.
Choosy moms.
That's your favorite peanut butter? Well, we hit Peter Pan and Skippy. I mean, we can't leave Jif out, can we?
I'm pretty particular about my peanut butter. I'm not going to lie.
Natural, I'm guessing. The natural gooey stuff, right? The oily stuff. Here's a tip. Oh, you don't like that?
No. I'm here for the Jif. Just the good old Jif.
Okay.
But yes, you've shared this tip with me. Share it with everyone else.
Yeah, the really oily stuff, the natural, keep it upside down on your shelf, and then it'll put that oil to the top. It doesn't get all messy when you mix it as much.
It is a real mess when you're trying to stir it all up.
It is, and it's great. It's oily. So anyway, cleaning it up's a mess. Fog developing tonight. Slight chance of rain later this week. We're talking Thursday night. A few weak cold fronts. So some wind shifts, but really not changing temperatures a whole lot. Let's take a look at who actually saw some rainfall today. You look at the map, everywhere you see a color, that's where we had some rain. You see the heaviest rain over the Gulf of Mexico. It's not exactly where we need it. Of course, we could use the rain elsewhere. Gonzales, just under 0.2 of an inch, along with Smiley and Hallettsville. Victoria, nearly 0.7 of an inch. Closer to the Gulf Coast, we had some heavier rain. Seguin, about 1,400. It's not enough to really make a big difference. Better than nothing for you folks east of San Antonio, but locally just a few hundredths of an inch. That's the best we can do. Most of the rain, as I showed you, is Gulf of Mexico. And then even in parts of East Texas, now moving through Louisiana, they've got the good soaking rainfall. That's the kind we need. Our clearing line is right over San Antonio. Now we have some mid-level clouds that are sliding overhead. A few peaks of sunshine when you look off to the west at sunset this evening. That's pretty much it for any bit of glimpse of the sun today. This dip in the upper level flow. Energy's out ahead of it, and notice that's where the rain is. So we're about to get on the back side of it. Notice how the sky clears on the back side of it, and we're anticipating our sky clearing out through the day tomorrow. We could use the rain. Obviously, we need it, especially south of San Antonio, Dimmitt, LaSalle, McMullen counties. That's where we have an extreme drought. If we can't get it, at least somebody else did. Other parts of Texas tapped into some of that moisture. About a half an inch in parts of East Texas here. We're talking Lufkin area and even Dallas toward Shreveport. That's where we had some decent accumulation. So at least somebody got it where we need it, though. Our next turn for it is coming Thursday night. It's not looking significant. We've got a 30% chance right now, but we could have a few quick hit or miss showers Thursday night, lingering into very early on Friday morning. Hopefully, cross your fingers that we see more promising signs of better rain chances and we can increase those. But right now, we just have it at 30%. 52 degrees now, dew point of 49. Air temperature and dew point are getting close to each other, and they'll both start falling off tonight, but that's going to lead to some fog. And the clouds really made a big difference today. Gonzales now at 49, Beeville 51. That's close to their high temperatures. Meanwhile, where we've had a lot of sun today, Del Rio 67 degrees currently, and we even made it to the 60s in Uvalde as well. But that's because they had more sunshine. Tomorrow morning, we're anticipating some 30s west of town, 37 Hondo, 37 Rock Springs, 36 Uvalde, closer to 42 degrees around San Antonio. Then by the afternoon, big difference in cloud cover again. So locally low to mid 60s, Gonzales about 64, Victoria 66. But you get along the Rio Grande and we're well into the 70s because of a few extra hours of sunshine. The fog will be locally, I think, here around San Antonio and east of I-35. But along the Rio Grande, Del Rio, Quemado, Eagle Pass, even Crazel Springs, Crystal City, you're not going to have that fog. and it'll take us a little while to clear out through the day tomorrow, but we should make it into the low to mid 60s, and then highs only in the mid 50s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Next freeze should be brief and light by Saturday morning at 30 degrees.
You know, Adam, last week we missed a golden opportunity segue.
Oh, no.
We talked about Arthur, the PBS show, and it being canceled. And instead I talked about the movie with Dudley Moore.
Yep.
We have Myra Arthur right next to us.
Oh, you're right here. You know, that's okay.
Yeah, well.
It happens.
There's no canceling this, Arthur.
Oh, thank you, Steve.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
Good morning. It is Monday. It is January 24th. And look who is here on GMSA. That would be Miss Japhanie Gregg. Good to see you, Jaff.
A man in custody for allegedly shooting in the middle of the street near River Center Mall yesterday evening. San Antonio police say it started with an argument between two women just before 8 p.m. on Commerce Street. At some point, the two women and one of their boyfriends moved locations near the Denny's in front of the Marriott Hotel. That's where police say that the boyfriend allegedly started firing shots.
This happened earlier today in the 200 block of Micklejohn Street. That's near Calabria Road and I-10. Firefighters say the flames started at a shed that's near a home, but not attached to it. According to crews, heat from that fire radiated to two homes, which have minor damage. No one was hurt. The shed was destroyed, though. So far, no word on what caused the flames to spark.
Metro Health has been seeing an increase in questions about what's the difference between isolation and quarantine. The difference is a positive COVID test. That's according to CDC guidelines. If you have a positive test, you must isolate by staying away from others for at least 5 days and until your symptoms stop. Then you can follow the quarantine guidelines. That applies to those who have either been exposed or think they have COVID without taking a test. They are to quarantine for 5 days, after which you're allowed to leave, but encouraged to wear a mask.
The IRS is also dealing with staff shortages and a lack of funding. So to avoid delays, it's asking people to file electronically and to request a direct deposit for a refund. Now, if you do that and you don't have any issues with your tax return, you should get your funds back within 21 days. So